What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another crazy Lamecast. I'm your host, Aaron, with my co-host,
Anthony.
And
I'm Des.
I'm Boo.
Oh, hey, Boo.
Hey.
All right. This is fun. So today we're going to talk about horror movies. Right? Can we restart that?
No, we can't. We're rolling. We're rolling, baby. The cameras are on.
Horror games you would like to see made into a movie.
There we go. That's a good
Yes.
one.
Video game you would like to see made into a movie. Any genre.
Yeah.
Any kind. Doesn't have to be horror. It could be action,
Any
mystery, like Alan Wake,
That's
Dude,
horror.
Alan Wake. Oh my God.
which is not my vote, by the way.
Which is also a movie
But
already.
I'm saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is
I
it
didn't know
really?
that.
Yeah.
When did they make an Alan Wake movie?
That was a while ago.
Really?
It was like a straight-to-DVD affair. Oh, no, I'm thinking Alone in the Dark. So I'm thinking Alone in the Dark.
Okay, I was gonna say I
Yeah.
feel like an Alan Wake movie should have got a good amount of attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be dope. I didn't even think about that with my answer, but yeah, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
no, yeah. Alone in the Dark was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was awful.
It was Christian Slater and wasn't terrible.
Oh, right there. That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's all you had to say.
So games that should be movies is what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I got one.
Shoot.
Borderlands.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
Borderlands. It's like Mad Max, pretty much. It'd be like a Mad Max movie.
It would be like a
But
Michael
it-
Bay Mad Max.
But it would
Yeah.
be wild, and it would be a lot more comedy in it.
Yeah.
You would have a lot, like, you have different stuff because it's in space, different planets, robots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Question: Would you prefer that live action, or would you prefer just a Borderlands style animation, just big screen movie?
I mean, when I think of it, I would sort of want to see a live action because I would want to see it done to the scale of a Mad Max movie. I would want to see it done with practical effects.
I'd like to see it both ways.
I would like to see a young Mel Gibson in there, just to make it even more.
I honestly thought he was gonna just say Kurt Russell. I thought he was gonna say Kurt Russell.
Now, I would like to see Peter Dinklage play Claptrap.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
See, I don't know enough about Borderlands to have a lot of input on this, but
Yeah,
I feel like
that's-
somehow we can inject Tom Hardy in there, so I'm just gonna put the name
Tom
on the
Hardy
table.
could be Brick.
He
Tom
could.
Hardy could be Brick.
Yeah.
Good.
If you think about it, I mean, he
Yeah.
bulked up for Bane. Say what
Yeah.
you want about that movie. He bulked up for Bane and
Sean
he could do
Connery
it
did
for Brick.
great. Sean Connery really played that part.
Who
really
would
You
you
well.
do a live action Minecraft movie with
Well,
a square ass head.
Me
I
and you,
could.
Me and you are big. Yeah, dude.
We might be in talks about it. I can't talk about it.
Can't talk about it.
Contractually, you can't say
Contractual
anymore.
conscious after that.
Yeah.
I can't say anything about it.
Well, me and you are big Borderlands fans.
Yeah.
So who would you have in the movie? What characters would you have in the movie
Well, I
based
feel
off
like
the games?
you need Lilith. I think Lilith has become a huge point in all the Borderlands series. Like,
Mad Siren, yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, she's a siren no more. According to the third game.
We haven't played it yet. We don't
In
really
the
know.
trailer, she said she lost her siren powers.
I got you, but I'm saying just go based off the games you know.
The games we know right now, I mean, still Lilith. Well, if you're gonna do like something like around that time, I mean, are we talking about the original cast, or are we talking about
That's-
1 and 2?
That's what I'm asking you. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I know,
asking you. That's the
I know,
question.
but I mean, it's like a hard question because like the first game you could say didn't really have a villain. Like it's semi.
Commandant Steele.
Yeah, I mean,
But
like
she wasn't that great.
no.
I would like to see them do the second
Handsome
game.
Jack.
Handsome Jack. Who
Yeah,
would you
'cause
have play Handsome Jack?
Oh my God, Handsome Jack. I would probably be Ryan Reynolds because Ryan Reynolds would play a perfect, funny, witty, sarcastic asshole, and that's everything he was. That's everything Handsome Jack was.
I feel like he's becoming a bit actor, man. I feel like he's gonna be putting that part all the time now.
Well, I mean, he always
that
he
was always
was.
his shtick, though.
Yeah, I mean, think about National Lampoon's Van Wilder.
Yeah.
That's Handsome Jack.
Think about waving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
waiting.
It's-
That's
yeah.
also that's literally Handsome Jack. Handsome Jack was the most
I
condescending.
actually really like Ryan Reynolds as Handsome Jack.
It would be
I
perfect.
really like that casting decision. Then if we're gonna do the second one, you would have Dwayne the Rock Johnson play Salvador.
Oh my
No,
God.
Batista rather.
Batista.
Batista play
Batista
Salvador.
would be Salvador.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
He would be
That would be
perfect.
perfect.
He would be perfect.
Oh
Oh my God.
Oh
And
my
then,
god. Oh my god.
God, what? Alright, so now you gotta count. Are we counting Krieg in?
Are we counting DLC in?
Are we counting DLC in? Because Krieg, I feel like
It's in the
you
game.
You can get rid of Gage. I mean, Gage was cool, but like
You
she
can
didn't have personality like Krieg
You
did.
could also get rid of Axton.
You could get rid of Axton too.
It doesn't matter who plays Zero because he's in the suit the whole time.
Yeah.
I would pick the dude that actually played Predator in the original Predator movie, just because he's super tall. Like
Oh,
him.
Kevin Peter
Yeah.
Hall.
Yeah.
You know, real quick, not to cut you off, he was flying the helicopter.
I
at
did
the
know
end of the
that,
first
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I did know that. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I don't live under a rock.
God.
Well, some people do, Anthony.
Who would play Maya?
Who played Maya? Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, I could see that. But see, here's the thing, though. You would also need to. You would have to have Mad Moxie, and you would have to have Marcus.
Oh, who would you have play Marcus?
Oh my God, what's his name? What's his name?
What movie?
He's in all the Shaun of the Dead movies.
Nick Frost?
Nick Frost. Nick Frost would be a great Marcus.
There's only one Shaun of the Dead movie.
I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
So he is technically in all of them.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying that duo.
Yeah.
Duo.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah, Nick Frost would be
Nick
great
Frost,
as Marcus.
Nick Frost would be an amazing Marcus.
And Moxie, you would have to have someone. She'd have to be still hot, but she would have to be older because that's like Moxie's thing. She's like already used up.
Yeah. But then
Margot
again,
Robbie?
you could get
You could actually
could get
Margot
away with-
Robbie
you-
would be.
you could get away
Good.
with it because she wears
Yeah,
all that makeup.
Margot Robbie would be really good.
Because she almost looks like
You played them right?
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
that was a good choice.
I know the
Yeah.
characters.
I guess we
Yeah.
can move on because me and Aaron will talk about anything
Yeah.
Borderlands related for 3
Um,
hours.
Oh my God, we would. I think it has so much potential is that you can do Bioshock. I think Bioshock, that the whole think about it. There's not like whenever they do undersea movies, it's always we gotta watch out for the shark or this is giant octopus. Oh, we're stuck in a submarine but like
It's just a locale under the sea.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's a whole city of just people like all juiced up on all kinds of like
Now,
crazy powers. The
you
whole
would-
city went to shit.
you would have to do the first one, though.
Yeah, you would.
And you would
without a
have
doubt.
to get an Andrew Ryan.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
would play Andrew Ryan, then? Who's the perfect actor for Andrew Ryan?
Who's perfect to ask him, would you kindly?
What are you, a man or a slave?
Oh my
so,
God,
such a good
I know
game.
it is.
You guys have any input on any of this?
Oh.
Go.
Just go.
I didn't finish the first Bioshock, so
Oh my
I'm
God,
like, yeah, no.
What?
I didn't finish the first one because it's not my fault. My roommate at the time sent it back to GameFly before I was done.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, one time, Andrew,
Yeah.
Andrew, if you're
and I
watching
never got to
this,
finish it.
Andrew,
It's gonna
you
be
know
okay.
who you are. My buddy, I let him borrow Bioshock Infinite, and he returned to me one of the worst Assassin's Creed games ever, which is Assassin's Creed 3 for Bioshock Infinite. That is not a fair trade-off. I will hold it over until the end of this day.
The end of this day or the end of all days?
All days. All days.
There you go. 'Cause you just
Whatever.
almost let him off the hook like tomorrow.
Until the end of time. God, who would play Andrew Ryan? I mean, here's the thing. Like, Andrew Ryan was smart. He was very, like,
If I could pick
in
anyone,
a weirdly menacing way.
if I could pick anyone, I can't even think of the actor's name, but everyone has seen a movie with him in it. He was the main character in It's a Wonderful Life. He's got the build for it. What's his name? Can't think of his name. He would be perfect though. He's literally got the build. He's got the facial features. Because I believe the
Consult
character
the
was-
Ouija board. Ask the ghost.
Yeah. Ghost, who is the main actor in A Wonderful Life.
Yeah, the ghost ain't fucking listening.
No.
But yeah, there's a lot of potential for a Bioshock movie.
No.
I mean, you have
You know
Jackson.
who would be great too? Because, oh my God, guy who played the last James Bond,
Yeah, Craig.
Daniel Craig.
No, Craig would be really good.
I think he'd be good because
But he's blonde.
but remember there was
He could be Atlas.
Atlas.
Dude, he could be Atlas.
He could be Atlas.
Yo,
The whole-
let's bring
yeah.
this to Hollywood.
Yo, let's
right
bring
now.
yo Hollywood. Are you listening right now? We got
You know,
we got
it's wild that
ideas.
you said that because for my choice of my game, I was going to say Daniel Craig to play my guy today.
And
Well, you know,
what,
let's
what
move.
game? What game is
What
that?
game is that?
Black Flag.
Black
Assassin's Creed
Flag.
Black Flag. I would
Yeah.
love to see a live action movie. Or even just like not even like a full series, like one of those like 4-episode series that have been coming out
Oh, like
lately.
yeah.
a mini series.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
those, like something like that based off of Black Flag, and I would have
That'd be cool.
Daniel Craig
Yeah.
play Edward Kemper.
See, I'm all about pirates. I'm all in on pirates. Like
I just
and-
feel like-
because you could have Idris Alba play.
Adewale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a good choice for him.
Yeah,
That is
like
a really
you
good choice.
got two dudes who are just like known to be badasses. You know
that
what I
would
mean?
be dope.
They could sell that
Because
part
you could
so
also,
easily.
from that point, have a spin-off for Adewale.
Yeah.
So it really sets you up for it.
Yeah,
I
you
would
really
love to
could.
see, like, and
Black Flag Extended Universe.
Yeah.
that would be dope. It would be dope,
Hollywood.
but
Hollywood,
the only problem is they've already, like, I sat through, like, half of the first Assassin's Creed
It's
and
so
was like,
rough.
I was like, oh,
It's
well,
so
I'm just
rough.
going to turn this off.
And I was
like,
so excited because
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender was involved, and I love that dude. He's
Yeah.
so great.
I was so ready for the leap of faith scene, and, like, everything I had heard about it, being like, he actually, like, went, like, 120 feet up, was
Yeah.
like, no, we're doing it, and I was just like, God. The CGI just completely took away from the fact that he actually did it,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
That's
I didn't have faith, so I didn't even go see it.
Yeah,
I didn't see it in theaters. Don't insult me, please.
That's big that you didn't see it though, because
Yeah.
you were like the resident Assassin's Creed
Yeah, I didn't.
person
didn't
of the
go and
group.
Watch it.
No
Yeah.
excitement or anything for it.
Not really.
No.
No.
Nah. Well, we played. Was the third game together?
Yeah.
The third game is what, for her at least. She like. I mean, the third one was horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It was really bad.
That hide and seek part in the beginning was just like, I was just like, this is bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get past this
Connor
part,
was
and I'm tired of
bullshit.
chasing
That
this
whole
character.
Yeah,
character.
well,
That's
not
bullshit.
only was Connor boring, but like when you're outside of the Animus in the game, they
the
destroyed the story.
They destroyed the Desmond arc.
Like with Abstergo and Desmond, they killed off Desmond.
Yeah.
It's just
You
The
have
way
to
he
play
died
for
was
they
so
killed the
lame.
game
Yeah.
pretty
You
much.
know who would've
and
been
then
a
all
good
the games,
Desmond?
yeah.
You know who would have been a good Desmond?
Hmm.
I talk about the show a lot right now, but Frenchie from The Boys.
Yeah,
He'd be
yeah,
a perfect
I can
Desmond.
see that.
He would be a perfect Desmond.
Mhm.
He would be a perfect Desmond.
Yeah.
I just derailed that, but
Yeah.
I was just, ideas bounce off that.
I mean,
Yes,
But,
video game movie.
I don't know. I've been sitting here trying to think of one. I couldn't think of one.
No, we all know Desmond. Like, yo, I wonder if we can make The Sims. Make The Sims into a
No,
movie.
I
no,
wasn't
it's just,
even
it did. It's
movie,
called
though.
Gamer.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a lot weirder
Another-
with a lot more syrup.
Another one I would really like to see, and I'd have Dave Bautista in it again, would be a God of War game. God of War movie.
I could see
Yeah,
that.
Dave
that would be-
Bautista, rated R,
Yo,
centered around just the main
that
three
live
gods.
action commercial for I think it was Ascension.
It was for a second.
For Ascension, not gonna lie, sure made me cry.
Shane
I
was
was
like,
so, I was so
One thing
sad.
though is with God of War, which I would love to see that, and he would be good for it. I would want to see it more with practical effects than heavy CGI.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but you would need something for like the super.
Oh yeah, there would,
gigantic.
absolutely, but I just would. I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
something like that would be awesome if they didn't just make it just like, hey, we got two dudes in front of a green screen
yeah.
and nothing else.
Yeah,
in
I got you.
Yeah.
Like you would want something that wasn't just a giant CG
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
Epic fantasy.
Yeah, like
I
I
would,
would at least.
I would want them to really focus on just the gods themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean, of course, there'd be giant creatures.
Yeah.
But it's God of War.
Yeah.
But like,
You could do one of those scenes like
You
like
think
Clash of the Titans, like not the CGI parts, but like when they're like hunting Medusa and stuff like that,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like an area like that, but
Make
like
an
someone
entire
could just
world
like
out of it.
like Kratos just gets punched in the chest and you see him go like through that wall, like you know what I mean? It could be like him grabbing the big blocks, just throwing them, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
kind of practical,
I mean-
you know what I mean? Like
I mean, that's the game we need. I mean, that's the movie we need.
yeah, like God, I can't like I had another one on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. You know what I would honestly? I think it would be kind of cool. Reach, Halo Reach.
Halo Reach.
Oh.
I think Halo
Oh,
Reach.
well-
I think Halo Reach had a phenomenal story.
Any Halo would make a good movie, and it would make money.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because look, as much as I love Master Chief, they beat him into the ground. You know what I mean?
Well-
But you could do a young Master Chief,
Like an origin story
like
for
an
him.
origin story for Master Chief. I mean, like.
not having the
Well, no,
origin
because didn't
story,
they
though.
do that Halo movie? They did do a Halo movie.
There's a straight to DVD one.
Oh, you thought
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I want to hear Dez's game.
Yeah.
Crisis? You guys ever play that game?
Yo.
Crisis would be a good movie.
Crisis would be a good movie
Yeah.
with the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a great sci-fi thriller.
Crisis and Crisis 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
We just don't mention Crisis 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's
I wasn't even gonna go there.
The Ghost had, it was an animated Halo.
Yeah, it was a straight to DVD one.
Yeah,
wasn't
but
it?
I'm saying like Reach,
Yeah.
like Reach had like
You could actually-
imagine like how heartbreaking it would be like to see that last scene of Halo Reach like live action. You know, when he's like when the
With
when
the
the ship
music,
when
slow motion.
the ship's going away and it just says survive and my man is just like I'm gonna die, but I'm taking as many down with me as I can. And like the ending scene is him like getting stabbed through the chest, and he's still shooting. Like yo, they all
with like the
sacrifice.
lobby music.
Yeah, they
like,
all sacrifice themselves. That's what made that game so good. Was that it was just a straight death ride. Like, you know what I mean? They all knew like.
Suicide mission.
Yeah, we have a chance to end this war. Like, and they're like, well, if we die, we die, but we're all going for it. Like. And he was the last one tasked to survive, and he did what he had to do, and he was like, I'm dead, like, whatever. Yeah.
But going back to Dez's pick, Crisis, that'd be like a perfect Michael Bay action flick. Honestly,
Probably,
just
yeah.
an ultra powerful dude, some aliens
I'd like to
tearing
see
up
that.
New York, like
Dude, just like thousands of casualties.
Yeah,
yeah, you know,
that's how the game was.
explosions everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
it was an
perfect.
awesome game.
Yeah, I mean...
That's easy for Michael Bay to turn out
Yeah.
too. He
Yeah.
already probably has a script with a different name on it. Just slap,
Yeah,
just
you know
slap Crisis on
Slap
it.
Transformers on
In that respect, Prototype would be an
Ooh,
awesome
yeah.
one.
That'd be
Prototype,
cool.
That would be a dope one.
You
Yeah.
could do a mix of horror with that.
You could, in a
Like
sense,
a
but I just
gory,
think...
like...
What would you do Alex Mercer or would you do what was his name? John whatever his last name was.
What was the second guy's last
It's like
name?
John Simmons or something.
Yeah,
I think it was Simmons, something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. I think Alex Mercer being the villain would make it more...
compelling.
Yeah, for someone that hasn't played the game, I think it would make it more like, okay, so there's two of them, but he doesn't know how powerful he is, and da-da-da. Like, you could
Yeah.
touch
You could
base
do
on
like
the
a cat
first
and
one.
mouse thing too.
Yeah.
You could touch base on the first one as, like, you know,
You
like
could
at
make-
some point, giving an origin to it, but I think it would
Yeah.
be more interesting to have them fighting rather than them just
Well-
being like, take them down.
Well,
Yeah.
you could do like, imagine this. Oh my god, now I'm just throwing out a whole entire scene, right? So imagine you could open
By the
up,
way, Michael Jai White.
yeah, you could open up
Yes.
the movie. You could open up the movie with Simmons and all them like coming, like going into a building or something like that, and you hear like on the computer or whatever, like a broken ass TV. It's like we have men en route was like searching for Alex Mercer, the man who whatever. Like they go over the whole like a little bit of snippet of backstory from what happened with the first game. Like bioterrorist Alex
Yeah,
Mercer
yeah.
was last seen entering
You
this
know,
building.
generic newscast.
Yeah, generic
Yeah.
news thing.
Yeah,
And then,
newspapers on the wall
Yeah,
with
and
a
then-
string.
and then they're all like, that's how you get everyone. They're all walking in, like Simmons is in the front, and then that nasty, goopy like vein starts. You see him like start to swirl down,
Well,
like
that's
the
trailer.
pillars.
That was the trailer.
Yeah, I
for-
know.
For the second one.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you turn it into a movie and you just have that like tentacle just come out and just grab the first dude and pull him, and they're shooting everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like you do something like that.
Think
And that's
of-
how like you set up like Alex Mercer. But like then with that little snippet in the beginning, you're like, yo, is he a villain? Is he a good guy?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it leads you on to the end of the movie. You know what I mean?
Almost makes him like an anti-hero.
Or like Infamous. Infamous is another phenomenal one.
I loved Infamous.
Dude, that whole era
that was
of
a
those
good one.
games.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
You know what movie they should make and they announced and never made? The Sly Cooper movie.
Yes.
The animated
Yes.
Sly Cooper movie.
I really wish that.
They announced it in 2014 and then
Came
nothing
delayed.
ever came
Yeah.
of it.
Well, you were talking. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't bring that up.
What?
Sly Cooper.
That broke my heart when,
Yeah.
when it got, I guess,
Yeah,
canned.
yeah. Because I remember when you found out about it, you told me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know, and I was like, oh, what?
Even the trailer looked phenomenal. Like I was all in. I was sold.
I was all in, even if Murray looked a little too buff for my liking.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm nitpicky. I'm nitpicky.
Yeah,
he was a buff,
Yeah,
buff
Murray
dude
was
in that.
never that buff
No.
in the games.
But yeah, I wish they made that. Oh man,
Nah, it would have been.
there's
great.
so the thing is, there's so many video games that
Nah.
could be turned into movies.
Yeah.
We could talk about this for like hours. We might even revisit this one day, like a part 2 video or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Switch her up.
because when you I'm saying when it comes down to like, you have your genres, right? And there's, I mean, you know, you have just like regular movies, you know, like sci-fi, horror, blah blah blah. I mean, like for me, like the genre that always has hit me, like that I've always just been such a huge fan of was like fantasy. Like the fantasy genre is because it's so flexible and what you can do. Because like fantasy doesn't always mean like Middle Earth and like dudes with swords and shields and shit, which I love. Don't get me wrong. But like I mean, fantasy can go all the way into outer space. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's just you could just do so much with it, and it's like. But if I had to say. I think the best out of the fantasy genre, which till this day I don't care, I'll argue with anyone, is the Witcher series. I think the Witcher series was probably one. Besides the fact that it was a book that got adapted to a video game, the creator of the fucking Witcher series can fucking hate on it all he wants because the games are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think that what they did with that series, well, he does. He hates the Witcher series. He said in an interview one time he wished that he didn't give away the rights for it to be made into a video game.
You sure about that? He said, and I quote, "I hate the Witcher game."
He does. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't like the Witcher series. He didn't like the
That's
game.
like how Stephen King didn't like the Shining movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Stephen
but like,
King doesn't like half his movies.
I think that he should be happy that the Witcher gained such a following that it skyrocketed to a point where Henry Cavill left the DCU to come and play Geralt of Rivia, which he looks phenomenal as Geralt of Rivia. And I like how they tease a little, like, everyone's asked for a little Roach action. And Roach is his horse, if you're not familiar with the series. And because people were like, just in the comments, they saw Geralt, they're like, alright, we've seen Geralt, now we need some Roach. People were so concerned about the horse. They're like, when are we gonna see Roach? And fantasy, like I said, because I mean, you got the greats like Skyrim, you got Fallout, and all that stuff.
Oh, it's not fantasy, is it?
Yeah, I would say it's more of a fantasy
I think
style.
it's more of a sci-fi.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
post-apocalyptic.
It's like fantasy, and fantasy is such a huge blanket.
Well, I mean, if you're using the term like...
Yeah, that's just every game.
Well,
ever.
no, because think about it this way: like in all those style games, like Skyrim and stuff like
See,
that.
when you say fantasy, I think like
you're
Kingdom
playing
Hearts,
Yeah.
Final
Final
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
No, Final Fantasy is like, I don't know what you call that. I call that like weeb
A
games.
fantasy
I would
game?
call that a fantasy.
I think it's right in the
But I mean,
title.
yeah.
No, I
It's
mean,
the
'cause-
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but no, I mean, if you look
It's
at
like saying like, yo, would you
Genres
consider them at
Yeah.
war in the game?
no,
Gears
because
of
look,
War?
here's the thing. If you go from Final Fantasy 1 through 13, they were turn-based RPGs.
Yeah.
But it was still a fantasy game.
Turn-based RPG.
But it was
But set in
the
a
setting.
fantasy
It's
world.
a fantasy
It's a
world.
fantasy
game.
Okay.
It's a fantasy turn-based
It was the
RPG.
final-
So how's Fallout
of
not
the
fantasy? Sci-fi fantasy. Because you're playing as a character, and
Well,
every decision.
Fantasy, when you say the fantasy genre, that encapsulates a very specific type of game.
Yeah.
See,
That's the fantasy genre. Now, if you're talking about fantasies in general, then that would be every game
that
ever.
wouldn't be every game ever.
Because every game is, in a way, a fantasy.
Fantasy.
That Far Cry would be a fantasy.
No, Far Cry is like an action shooter.
But in that sense, it's a fantasy.
If you're looking at it that way.
But the
that's
fantasy
sort of
genre-
how it sounds.
Yeah,
the
I know
fantasy-
what you're.
The
I get what.
classification of the fantasy game is Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts, Final Fantasy. Would you consider Pokemon fantasy?
No,
No,
I would
consider
consider
that like a animal fighting simulator, like dog fighting
Alright.
game.
Fallout. Its description is a post-nuclear role-playing game. Is an open-world, turn-based role-playing video game. What?
Anyway,
A post-nuclear role-playing game isn't. Yep, that's the way. That's the way. Yep, you
Open-world,
read it right.
turn-based role-playing game. I did read it right.
it's just
Yeah.
It's either turn-based. Well, it's not turn-based in the newer ones, but
Yeah.
turn-based role-playing game. So it's an RPG. I mean, yeah, it's an RPG. I would just consider it more in the sci-fi, post-apocalyptic side
Yeah.
than a fantasy.
Yeah.
Personal taste. Now, if I'm going for video game genres of my own,
Yeah.
just to transition because I'm done with this whole fantasy nonsense.
This whole fantasy thing.
Yeah.
This fantastical fantasy.
What is it, Donkey Kong? Because you look like a gorilla.
Yeah, you right, boy.
Silverback.
No,
Yeah.
I would go sci-fi. I would go sci-fi horror.
Oh, let me guess. Dead Space.
No, you're wrong. Actually,
Oh wait, hold on. It's not BioShock.
no, it's not. You know, you
I'm
can
just-
guess all day. I'm just gonna.
Look,
tell
I'm
you.
already out of ideas because he didn't just say, if there was a classification of game, I would just say Borderlands.
Yeah, now I would say the Metro series. It's great.
Metro. Oh my god.
I couldn't get it. I got
Metro.
bored real fast.
Metro Last Light.
Light.
I like how it's like sort of minimalistic, and their depiction of post-apocalypse is interesting because it's not so. It's not so in your face like it is
Yeah.
in a lot of other games. It's like it's
It's
just desolate.
I think
Yeah.
that's what made it. I think that's why I got bored with it so
It's
fast.
decrepit.
Because there wasn't a lot going on. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's also.
I just felt like I was like the way this guy described. I got into GameStop. I was like, "Yo, what's a good like horror survival game?" He's like, "Oh, Metro." I was like, "Cool, give me them all." And like when I was just playing, like he just described it as this just so much different than what it was.
But like I like the beast encounters, they don't feel like an action film. They feel like it's just all dirty. and there's no hope in the game. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
Like the world is done,
Yeah.
and you're just trying to survive in it.
Yeah.
And there's something about that I just really enjoy.
Well, it's also another game that was a book. That
yeah.
got turned
Well,
into a
that's
video
what
game.
made me think of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes the games. Though.
Yeah.
The writer likes the games.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the difference. I
Yeah.
guess he appreciates.
He appreciates how good they turned out.
Yeah.
Come on, someone lay something on.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's like it falls into a genre, but my game in mind is Red Dead.
Well, that.
Like an open world.
That's
Yeah.
like an
Yeah,
open
open
world
world
yeah.
shooter.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like a good
Western.
example would be like
Western.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Western.
Like
Oh,
just
yeah.
open world games in general. I love
Open world,
Yeah.
good
exploration,
like single player story based games.
Yeah. Yeah. Not necessarily like open world is like Saints Row. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like a
Something you
good
can
with a
explore.
good story.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
something with like
with
a
a world
story
that
tied
has a story
together.
behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It really,
Pretty
that
much.
really sucks. I mean, Red Dead. When she beat,
That's a world.
she beat Red Dead
Yeah,
before Red
yeah.
Dead 2 before I did.
I was
And,
depressed.
I woke up and she's like, her eyes are bloodshot. She's like, I'm like, you've been crying? She's
I
like,
was
yeah.
I was depressed for like a few days after I beat that
I was
game.
depressed a
I
few
didn't
days
know
after I
what to
beat
do.
that game.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with
I
myself.
lost a piece of my family, man.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from him for like 2 weeks when
Yeah.
that game came out.
It was so fucking good. Same thing with
I
that.
have a great Red Dead story. I remember that game came out, and I was waiting for it for like 8 years, like
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
And I was so excited, and the game, I already preloaded it. So I got home from work. It came out on Friday. I got home from work. I didn't shower or nothing. I just ripped off all my clothes.
Sat butt naked.
I sat butt naked on the floor, played that game for hours. And my girlfriend comes back home because she worked too. My girlfriend comes and she just looked at me, shook her head, and went in the room.
I was like, can you imagine that at some point that you stepped on that carpet and there was sweaty ass crack on that carpet?
You don't have to worry about it.
Dude, think about it. He was probably shifting positions too. Like, you know, he was laying on his stomach with his feet up behind him, like looking at it like this. Like, you know, he was like this with like chips on his
Yeah.
chest, like trying to get him like Bobby Hill.
Alright, bro, what are you throwing at us?
Actually, total opposite of yours.
Yeah.
I like a good, just linear with a good story.
What would you say your
Oh, yeah.
specific genre?
Hellblade,
Is this a sacrifice?
Senua's Sacrifice.
Senua's-
I'll bring
Yeah.
that game up
Yeah.
every time.
Hellblade is your genre?
No, I'm saying like
like Condemned.
I'm
Like
saying
a
just a
Condemned
good.
series.
I wouldn't say
Yeah, oh my god, Condemned.
Just a good linear game.
I don't know about necessarily like it's a genre, but I just something like you can explore, but there's one set path, and it's
Yeah.
just a really good story along the
See,
way.
to me, that's also minimalist too. I'm surprised you didn't like Metro. It
Yeah.
has
It
the
just
same-
didn't get me. I don't know. It just didn't engage me. I guess like
I will say that the first one's a little bit slower than the second one. The second one, Last Light. Was Last Light the second one?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Last Light, dude. That story. Oh my god.
Excellent.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, I
never
like
had fun
playing.
there.
I like
Pick it
playing
up.
a game where I can just go wander. Like, don't get me wrong. Black Flag is probably maybe my favorite game of all
Yeah.
time. Like, and that's a game. It's just an open world wander game, but I just like being able to mindlessly just sit there and play a game, and just like I think the reason I always say Hellblade is because like it was completely linear. There
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of exploration. Like there was little things here and there to find, but just like it was more so
There's so much you could do with
to
a
look
linear
at.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like to appreciate, take in, like, the atmosphere and
Yeah.
like that. Kind of like with, like, you know, lighting.
Yeah.
I really appreciate good lighting and good
Don't
graphics.
even start that. Don't even start that with me.
So I guess I would, not necessarily jump, but I guess I just heavy graphic, heavy story-driven, just a good walk
That's
game.
why I love
God of War.
games like
God of War,
God of War's
Last
good.
of Us.
Yeah.
Last of Us was amazing.
Yeah.
Dead Space is a good linear game.
Yeah.
It sets up good
Doom.
situations.
Except
Doom,
Except
2016.
I fucking
Dude.
love
Except
that
3.
game.
Right there, Doom is a great,
real
just, yo,
man's
play
game right
this
there.
game. You just
Yeah.
play the game, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? You don't have to really
I-
think too much about it,
If I could
Yeah.
just throw out a bonus one real quick.
Wolfenstein.
which is also
If I
pretty
could just
hard.
throw out a bonus one, I also like games that harken back to older time periods of like
Like
gaming.
Hunt,
No, not like Hunt.
Oh,
I
you
mean
mean
like
like a-
more so like Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
like a
Hotline
good side
Miami.
scroller,
Hotline
maybe.
Miami is amazing.
No, like that good, like, old 8-bit, like...
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like
Bringing
side
back the
scrolling like
childhood.
platformers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to play them a lot as a kid, and I love seeing companies make them now
Yeah.
too.
Minecraft, you know, who's big-ass fucking blockhead.
Took everything from me.
Stardew Valley, I like Stardew
Stardew
Valley.
Valley,
Stardew
oh
Valley
my
is
God.
a really good one.
Stardew Valley, I was like, I had to put it down because I got so hooked into it. Just like it
Life
was so.
started ceasing to exist.
Dude, it was just it was like Animal Crossing because like you get so sucked into how calming those games are that like you just mindlessly get lost. The next thing you know, like 4 hours go by, you know, and you're just like, wow, I just gotta cut that tree down.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could go on about this topic. We probably will have to revisit this topic.
I think we'll have to revisit.
Yeah, because I want to talk about Condemned.
In the future.
I want to talk about
Well, there's so many
bad.
more I want to talk about,
I
especially
know.
when it came to the movie end of it.
Well,
so many
there's a
more.
couple other games I could bring up examples for what I said too,
Yeah.
so it's definitely something I'd like to come back to.
Thank you guys for joining us on the third episode of
Yes.
Lamecast. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. I don't know what any of the handles are because I don't handle any of the social media. That's what the ghost is for.
It's probably
And-
at not the real name.
At not
Yeah.
the real name, but it is the
Yeah.
real name, but it's not the real name.
Yeah, but check us out
Yeah.
everywhere and anywhere.
Yes.
Much
Maybe-
appreciated.
maybe
Make sure to
outside
smash
the
that
window.
subscribe, smash that like, and
Hit
have
the
a
bell.
smashing good time.
Bring that fucking bell.
Chuck hammers.
Throw hammers.
Throw hammers.
The end.
Boy.